Welcome to the Bearcat Review. I'm Wade Smith alongside head coach Oscar Glasscock. Coach, how are you today?
Doing okay. We finished a typical Wednesday practice and got a lot of good work done, and moving toward playing a really good Buckhorn team this Friday night.
Coming off of a very good victory against the Hartselle Tigers. I know there's a lot of talk about first time in so many years that you go up there and you get the victory, and we even mentioned it on the last show. Not a lot of wins in a lot of years against this Hartselle team. What's it been like this week, keeping the minds level-headed as we move through to week number 4?
Well, we had Labor Day, and we've gone to the hybrid schedule at the school, so the players aren't interacting with the students quite as much the last few days, and I talked to the kids a long time about you have to handle success as much as you handle adversity. There's a lot of life lessons in that, and we don't have time to sit there and reflect on what we've just done, because we have a really, really good Buckhorn team coming in here Friday night, and it's a Region 8 game, and our attention's solely on them. And if it's not, we won't win the game.
Absolutely. It's the one in front of us, but let's look at the one behind us, you and me, as we go into first quarter action. Coleman and Hartselle on the road last week. Coleman does end up with the victory, and it was a fun one to watch. Got a little bit of rain in there too, and I feel like we had just about everything on a Friday night, and a senior night up at Hartselle as it was for us a couple of weeks ago. But let's start this one off, Coach.
Well, I felt like we had a really good week of practice, and we always say, the focus is on us and about us playing as well as we can. And, we really felt like we could run the football on them. They have an outstanding defensive line, but, we felt like our scheme matches up well with them. And, they've got one of the best defensive coordinators in the state, in Bert Newton. And we knew it was going to be a challenge, but our guys were really, really focused, and they're really working hard on improving. You see Jalen get out early on the inside running play, had a hold, but that was kind of just a precursor to things that were going to come. He had a huge game. Our offensive line had a huge game, and we really controlled the line of scrimmage all night long. So
yeah, it was really nice to see Jalen in just mid-season form this early in the season.
Yeah, and he's been primarily playing defense. Got Alex Shepard back this week, and so we were able to use him on offense a little bit more than we have the first 2 games. See Hartselle come out. They're a throw-first team. I think they came into the game deciding that they couldn't run the ball against us, and I think especially in the first half, first 3 quarters, it was we knew they were going to be throwing the ball a lot primarily, and so we were able to really focus on our pass rush and coverages, and that's the reason we've got a good pass rush and the way we've played in these first couple of games, and they were watching film, and like I said, they make decisions, and we're able to play the run and the pass effectively, and see that's what play we call the crawl. So it's also called inside belly play, and you can just see that I thought Drew Conway had an outstanding night blocking. Bring Noah Key in, and it's rare for Noah. He hit the ground and caused a fumble. We were in good shape on that. He just provides such a burst, and he's so different from Jalen, obviously. Sometimes it's hard for those guys to see him, I think. But, man, Noah's a talented player in his own right.
Absolutely.
Again, weak side belly, that's 3-4 yards. I think Jalen probably averaged about 5 yards after contact the other night. And, here we're running the option. When they're packing it inside, we have that in our package. And so, really the first 2 drives, about the only time we really got checked up just a little bit. But we were starting already. We flipped the field position, and Hartselle starting, deep in their territory most of the time. See Alex Shepard right there, and he's getting to the quarterback, and he just brings us a speed element off the edge, especially that can really give some offenses some problems. Again, you see the RPO game. You see their outstanding receiver, Isaiah Fletcher, and we got Brody Malcolm on him on this side of the field and in these coverages. And, Brody's pretty talented himself, so that was an interesting game within the game. See Hartselle trying to screen pass. Drew Ball does an awesome job. He sees it, reads it, gets there. Like I said, we work on this stuff in practice. It's not like it just happens in the game. We've repped that play or something like it a lot during the week. Again, we flipped the field position. Now they're turning the ball over on. We're in their their territory now. Running the buck here. We ran the buck in power, and here's the buck. We see both guards pulling a great cut by Jalen, and they were really ready for that play. But like I said, sometimes when they started packing it inside, because our inside game was going, we were able to hurt them with the power and buck. Nice throwing catch. See Nick Glass in his first action. And Nick's probably our fastest guy on the team.
Got a heck of a vertical leap, too.
Yeah, he's really something else. And you just see Jaden just running through people, and again, that's the weight room, and that's where it pays off. When you see us falling forward and pushing other people back, we have a physical advantage in a lot of situations. And again, Hartselle had some new players. They had, gave us some. They really had to work hard. The number 3 kid had moved from Jasper. 91 had moved in from Clay Chalkful. They've had several transfers, and those guys are really, really good players. They've done a good job of, attracting some really good guys that play hard, and their defensive line. I don't know that there'll be a better one we play all year.
Yeah, that first quarter, it went by very quickly because of the style of play that both teams were going in that first quarter. But it just kind of set the momentum. It set the pace. It looked like Coleman football. What's the brand of football you guys are putting on the field this year?
Yeah, that's right. We're a run-first, play-action team, and we're, low pad level on the offensive line. And I was talking about it with Coach Gleaton today. It's just, when Coleman was really throwing the ball a lot and doing the spread stuff, even back to Coach Bates' days when I worked for him, we were really the first people to really throw it a lot and be sophisticated in your passing game. Well, now it seems like everybody's kind of, wants to be that style of offense. So what we've done is go back and I guess it's an older style of offense, but, people, we talked a lot about it last week. I know people probably get tired of hearing about it, but, it really is difficult to prepare for now because nobody sees it. So the advantage we used to have when we were one of the few spread teams, now we have it in the fact that we're one of the few wing T teams out there, especially in 6A or 7A football.
Cutting-edge old football. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, let's take our first break of the Bearcat.
It's like having an old suit, man. You keep it in the closet, and 20 years later, you can wear it again. It's back in style. So
I don't know if I'd fit in one from 20
years
ago. So. We'll take our first break. We'll come back right after this.
Home. It's where you take your time. Build the future. Make your memories. Celebrate. Come home. Alpha Insurance.
For the best agents in the business, call Kathy Sims in Coleman.
Welcome back to the Bearcat Review. I am Wade Smith alongside head coach Oscar Glasscock. And we just looked at the first quarter. We talked about this. It's give and take football. You guys are taking the field position all night. The clock management was on point. Jalen Huey looked great on the ground in the first quarter. And that doesn't really change as we go throughout this ball game.
Yeah, it's really, we're patient in our offense. And we're, like I said, we're going to control the clock. And we want to control the field position, and we want to drive the ball and keep that other offense off the field because, obviously number 2 is a guy that can take over a football game, and, we want to keep him on the sideline because if he's on the sideline, he can't do his thing on the field.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at our second quarter of action. We know the Bearcats did kick a field goal in the first quarter, and it was 3-0 as we ended it out. And as we go into this second quarter, we know that the Bearcats will continue to run the football. Hartselle tries to get that passing game in order. And it just seemed like they were out of sorts from the get-go. I don't know if it's the senior night mentality with distractions, if it's just, hey, this is a tough Bearcat defense to play against, and sometimes it just comes out that way.
Well, I think we're a team that has played well in the first part of the season, and I would like to think it's our style of our offense and our defense and how it all works together, and it kind of gets you out of your game. And, you see Alex Shepard coming in and playing with a lot of enthusiasm, and I know it's important for him to have a great senior year. And, you just see we're getting after it. And again, when, you can make an offense one-dimensional. There you see a little sprint draw they did on a long yardage situation. When you can make an offense one-dimensional where they really can't run the ball, it makes it easier.
Barbecue.
Oh, Johnny's Barbecue. I really like Johnny's, by the way.
I do too.
I can kill
That's
a
why I don't fit
potato
in that
over
suit
there.
from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But looking at, you mentioned Alex Shepard on the defensive side of the ball. Watching that game from the stands, he kind of reminds me back a couple of years ago when Javier Arenas was out there for Alabama. He's got that quick step off the edge, and he gets that wrap tackle right in the backfield. Just a lot of ankle tackles. And
great first step, and he's
Absolutely.
a really, really strong young man. He's really, really powerful, and he has fun playing. I think people really enjoy watching him play, just because the way he's passionate and how he plays. But you see now, Hartselle's got, again, they have a really outstanding defense themselves, and it's going to be a battle all night long. And, the yards we're getting are hard-earned, but that's the way we like it. And you see Noah Key churning, keeping those legs moving.
Family-owned and operated.
And, we're starting to put a little drive together here. And, again, we got great field position to start. And, again, you're seeing positive yardage. Here's our little cross option. Max does a super job just making good decisions. We didn't take a lot of chances in the game. The field was a little bit wet. Just a tremendous run here by Jalen Huey, and it, basically takes their whole interior defense to bring him down, and he's going north and south. Jake Doolin really runs the ball hard. Got a little counter right here that, we put in and been working hard on getting in the game more and more, and Noah Gee does a good job seeing it. You just see the strength of Jalen right there. I mean, it's going to take more than one normally to bring him down. So it was, a lot of it was him, and a little disappointed in our protection right there a little bit. Maybe the guy might have been a little bit offside so we could get the ball snapped and off. And sometimes it's easy for those splits to start closing down and closing down. Great job in coverage. He had nowhere to go and ran into a wall. And I forgot how many plays Hartselle ran in the first half, but it wasn't very many. And we stayed on offense the whole game, and that wears on you. And when you're getting into that second half and things like that, I mean, it's tough on a defense, to be on the field all night long, and that's what we're trying to prevent. Well, it's a super play by Brody Malcolm. You just see, that's a tremendous play against a really, really good and talented football player. Again, one of the few times Hartselle ran the ball, especially in the first three quarters, and even though they're throwing it all the time, we're still been able to see what we need to see and react to what kind of play it is. Again, Brody's just all over the field there, and he was had a little knee injury issue and ended up not playing the fourth quarter, but he made his presence felt when he was out there. So again, we're going to get good field position again because defense is not allowing first downs or really to them establish any kind of field position. And again, I think we're always very prepared special teams wise. I mean, we incorporate it in every practice consistently during the day. I see the trap right here, and Jalen finds the opening. Hits it really fast on the cross. Again, cross option here. Doing a good job protecting the ball. I thought Coach Saint did a great job. Just calling plays and with help from Coach Gleaton and just taking a shot every once in a while. Again, Nick Glass is a guy that can really jump and really run, and he hadn't played football before. So anyway, we run the toss so much. Wow, what a great throw and catch by Jalen, and that was a huge touchdown for the half, and it just seemed like everything was going our way when you connect on a play like that, and that's our version of a trick play, but it's a pretty safe call. If it's not there, Jalen's going to tuck it down and run it, and that's usually a pretty good idea too. Great job pursuing, getting to the ball. If you got great pursuit, if one guy misses, you got other people there to take advantage of it. And Hartselle just content, they want to run out the clock right here, get to halftime, and see if they, can get some get some things going for the second half. And they certainly have an excellent coaching staff. Coach Moore's, has probably only lost 1 or 2 games in a regular season every year he's been a head coach, and of course, Coach Newton's a great friend of mine. I've learned a lot from over the years running defenses, and Coach Bray coaching their defensive linemen, and Coach Coleman. They have an outstanding coaching staff and great support from that school, and it's a real challenge to play a program like Hartselle.
One half in the books. Coleman up 16-0 as we go to our next break of the show. We'll be right back on the Bearcat Review after this.
You never know what curves life will throw at you. We depend on our ride to grip the road, no matter what. So whether life takes you out on the open road or across town, McGriff Tire Pros has the right tire for you. McGriff Tire Pros carries great tire brands like Michelin and B.F. Goodrich. Michelin offers safe, fuel-efficient, long-lasting tires that provide excellent performance and extraordinary value. McGriff Tire Pros, downtown Coleman. Online at McGriffTirePros.com.
Johnny's Barbecue, family owned and operated since 1963. Dine in or carry out. Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. till 9 p.m. Stuffed potatoes, pork, ribs, chicken, catfish, and much, much more. Try our weekend wings and Brunswick stew. And don't forget Johnny's on the Road, catering and delivery. Mention you saw us on the Coleman High School Network. And go Bearcats!
Welcome back to the Bearcat Review. I am Wade Smith alongside head coach Oscar Glasscock, and looking at those Johnny's barbecue potatoes, and it may be the post show at Johnny's.
I told John over here we need to get a plate of ribs and put it down here in between us, I'll be glad to sponsor the show in any way I can, especially when if they need me to eat something, I'll be happy to do it.
I never turn down free food or sponsored food at that. But after the first half, 16-0, Coleman is leading here. And it just continues, just like the first quarter, the second quarter, the same. You guys are able to run the offense you want to run. Your defense is standing tall. And just let's talk about the defense for just a minute before we go into this third quarter. And just the incredible job that they've been able to do so far throughout this season of taking away the strengths of these teams that they've played.
Well, it's no accident. We obviously work on opponents and study their film and tendencies and their personnel, and come up with a package over the weekends. You really can't celebrate a win too long, because you got to get right back at it. And it takes all weekend to have a plan ready going into. We like to practice Monday mornings. Usually get out there in shorts, and we have a JV game that evening, and that allows us to lift weights and meet Monday afternoons after school. And so these coaches do Coach Hopper and Coach Walker, Coach Fondren, Coach Morris. They spend a lot of hours at home watching huddle video and together talking about what we need to do. When I came in this job, I kind of provided the basic scheme and based on what I had been doing, but it was very familiar to the guys here, and they've been able to expand on it. And like I said, Coach Walker's brought a lot of expertise in the secondary world because he coached college and that was his area. And I feel like we're very sophisticated in our coverages and in our fronts. But our kids are not ever confused, even though we're doing a lot of stuff, and they're always playing hard, which is the bottom line. So I'm just, I couldn't be more happy with the staff, but I'm even more happy with the players. Defense is a mindset you build over time, and you got to get guys lined up first, and then you got to get them running hard to the ball, and you got to teach them how to tackle well. And if you can't do those things, the schemes aren't going to matter.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at that third quarter. Coleman goes in leading 16-0 after the first half, and we saw a field goal in the first quarter, a couple of touchdowns from Jalen Huey with one on the ground, one through the air in the second quarter. And Coleman going to continue to play that brand of football as we head into the third. I believe Hartselle starts with the football when we come back here in the third quarter. And we've seen a lot from this Bearcat football team throughout the first few weeks. We saw a couple of guys get banged up a few games throughout the first couple of weeks of the season. How are we looking health-wise as we go into the second half of tape here?
Well, we're okay, not excellent shape. We've still got a few out on COVID contact tracing, and need to get those guys back. You know, we got some other guys that are they're banged up, and you know we've had some that have had their knees scoped and had some issues, and they'll be back. You know, and you know if I feel like, you know, we haven't been at full strength since the Grissom game, and once we can get everybody back, you know, I think we'll be a pretty tough team to beat. But you know, football's a game about next guy stepping up, and we've had some guys come in, and like little Jonathan Pittman over here, the 10th grader, probably didn't really think he was going to be playing much this year, and he's been in some critical situations in games, and you know, proud of him for, you know, coming in there and holding his composure and making plays. Again, RPO game, you know, we got good pursuit here. You see Cole Herforth right there, and you know, Cole's been nursing some injuries right there, and he's a tough kid and fights through it. Again, you see Brody Malcolm. They seem to be throwing at him a whole lot, you know, and I know Brody likes that. You know, he likes the challenge. Again, they're switching some personnel, making some checks when we make adjustments on the fly. And again, that comes from, you know, film study and making sure we spend a lot of group time in practice. You know, it's a great big fourth down stop. So we come out, we're going to run the same play. They've moved some of their defensive linemen around, and so now we're going to run the power. They're trying to pack it inside, you know, force us to go outside more, and we're happy to do that. I mean, it's not that complicated. You know, we can see how you line up, and then, you know, we're going to call the plays that are going to fit based on how you're lining up. And so, you know, it's like offensive coaches talking about, hey, we're going to take what the defense gives us. Well, you know, we do that in the run game, you know, and they're trying to get their linebackers going, and you know, we got a good call versus their blitz is coming from the opposite our play call. Again, now they're packing it inside. Again, it opens up the sweeps, the powers, and the bucks, and we have the ability to see that, know how they're playing, and so we make effective play calls. And it's a team effort, you know, between Coach Gleaton and Coach Saint, Coach Campbell, Coach Hanna. You know, we just got a really good offensive staff. See, you know, Noah Key working north and south. The officials did a good job right there picking that flag up, because we're actually in a set where the tight end was lined up where the tackle does. And so he's in the free blocking zone when he does that, and they initially called him for a chop block, but it wasn't because of his alignment. And so they recognized that. And I thought the officiating, they did really well the other night. So, again, you see Hartselle battling, and you know, see Carson Hill getting out front. Need to cut that one up right there. Need to trust her track on the power and the buck. It's an L cut, hitting C-gap. And again, you know, you see Jalen's versatility. He can drag tacklers, and then when that opening's there, he's got the speed to really get through there. Very athletic. He bobbled the handoff just a little bit, and was able to keep his composure and get in the end zone, and just, you know, you got Lance LaRue and the Richard twins, and like I said, Jed Bartle at tight end, and Lane Dial had an outstanding night. You know, he's gotten over a little hamstring issue, and I thought those guys, and like I said, Drew Conway just, you know, blocked his tail off all night long and really had some huge hits from his wing spot. You know, Jake Dillon does a great job blocking, and that's the thing. It doesn't matter where you play. You're going to have to block for us. So we're in pretty safe coverage right here. You see our guys getting to the football. We want to keep everything in front of us. You know, we're playing with the lead, and you know, we're just trying to get off the field and get that offense back on the field and grind that clock, maybe get another score. Got misaligned a little bit here, and we didn't have an edge defender. Doesn't happen very often. Got this is the one time maybe we had a little bit of a busted cover. Supposed to be rolling safety down, take that guy in the flat, sending our outside linebacker. You know, those things are going to happen in a game. Quarterback does a great job keeping his balance right there. I mean, most guys have fallen down, and he gets a pass off, and they may execute a great play. And you know, that quarterback's really athletic. Another transfer from Jasper. You know, we played against him last year at Jasper, and there we go. Good pursuit of the football. See Jaden Kay getting in there, and it's really good to see him. Big number 90, Caleb Heatherly's. He's had some back issues and things like that. I think he feels healthy again, and he's a guy that he's played some football, but he hadn't played with his hand on the ground, and he's kind of like Nick Glass. He's come out there and he's learning the game and been very, very coachable, and he's a guy that's got a really, really bright future in a lot of sports, actually. He's a good kid, smart kid, has a lot of ability.
Yeah, learning on the job and doing a darn good job at it, too.
Well, we try to, we play a lot of guys, and that's, if our guys are anywhere close, we're going to rotate them through, and we talked about that last week, rotating on the defensive line, and guys can't, it's hard for them to get better unless they get in there and get that game experience, so, but they have to, they have to earn it, too. We're not just going to throw you out there just because you're on the team, but, if there's anywhere close, we're going to get those guys in, and if they're not starting, they're going to play in the JV games, and, so they're going to have plenty of times to get game experience and enjoy it, get better, feel themselves improve, and be able to contribute.
23-0 at the end of the third quarter. We're going to take another break. We come back, we'll have fourth quarter action of the Coleman-Hartselle game from last Friday night. We'll be right back on the Bearcat Review.
For more than 26 years, we've been providing friendly personal banking services for the citizens of Coleman and surrounding counties. We continue to provide new and improved services to our customers, and we even have a new look. So come by and see us at any of our 9 convenient locations. And don't forget, we're open on Saturdays.
Welcome back to the Bearcat Review. I am Wade Smith alongside head coach Oscar Glasscock. 3 quarters in the books from Coleman at Hartselle last Friday. Coleman able to notch their 3rd victory of the season. And, hey, it was the one in front of you, so it was the biggest one that week. This week coming up, we've got Buckhorn coming into Oliver Woodard Stadium. What are we looking at from the Bucks coming to town?
Similar offense to us. I mean, they are run first, and man, this may be the shortest game this season. A lot of people will be at halftime because they're throwing every down, and we may not throw. There may not be a pass thrown in this game, and so now they're similar. They try to be really physical and not make mistakes and just grind that ball and keep your offense off the field. And Coach Henderson up there has done a good job there, and I like their style of play, and it's a growing area, and I think their defense is really athletic and talented, and they beat a really big rival in Hazel Green last week handily, easily, and so
5 touchdowns.
Yeah, and Hazelwood's is I've coached against them. They're a pretty good program, and so that that really got everybody's attention is how dominant they were in that game, and so this is anybody thinks this region is going to be easy, they're sadly mistaken, because it's going to take everything we got to beat this team, because they're going to come in hungry and probably going to forget their manners.
Looking forward to another good one this Friday night, Oliver Woodard Stadium, 7 o'clock. Come on out. Coleman taking on Buckhorn. And remember to bring that mask and social distance. But we still got 1 quarter to go in this Coleman-Hartselle game to wrap this one up. Coleman is leading 23-0 as we head into the 4th quarter of tape here.
Well, the 4th quarter got a little wild. We got to learn to play with our, composure, and especially getting these games. And, you're in an area, like you say, you may not have that much success and all that, but that doesn't matter. This is a football game. You got to focus on what your job is, and you can't get wrapped up in the emotions of the games. And, that goes for the coaching staff too. We got to be the calming presence that's making, clear-minded decisions and things like that. And I feel like for the most part we're doing that. But they got some tremendous talent there, and they're going to make some plays. That was a great throw and catch. DB is in really good position, and good teams are going to make plays like that. You lost the edge a little bit there, and got to clean that up at some point and just make sure that the guy that has the edge. We do some automatics in the red zone area. They tried a little trick play. Had a couple of trick plays I thought we were ready for and defended well. You're a little bit of a gray area as far as your kick return here. They're going to try an onside, they're going to kick it deep. There's a lot of time left in the game, so it's not just obvious. And that's why I took a timeout here. I was going to get them to show their hand, what they had in mind. I'm one of these that I think the worst thing you can do is leave all those timeouts unused. And then right there, then it caused them to have a little bit of confusion as far as what they were doing with their kick team. And so, there's a strategy in what we do, and I like to see the way people are going to line up, and especially situations, if we've got timeouts, we're going to use them right there. And a lot of times people will change their mind about what they're going to do because they think, oh, well, they got us figured out, and they're going to have a defense for it. So anyway, getting out here running the power, and, man, you see, Jake takes a really hard shot in their linebacker. Get back, run the cross option right here, and they had a good defense for it. We're ready for that play. We work punt team really, really hard, and I think our punt team looks better in the game than it does in practice. I know about if I'm ever hoarse after practice, it's usually because the punt team is a head coach especially. That's one of your biggest fears, because that's one of the quickest ways to lose a game. See, outstanding catch by their receiver right there, and they've got playmakers. I mean, they have a lot of talent up there. I mean, I coach there, and man, those kids are going to play hard. They're smart, and they got a lot of talent. Again, during trips look right here, we got caught like in a man coverage right there, no safety help. That's not typically something we like to do a whole lot of. We want to make people. We don't want to give up explosive touchdowns. That's sort of a tenet of our defense and our philosophy. Great job fielding that punt. Fielding the onside kick. We did a great job on that because they tried a lot in the kicking game. And, now our offense has got to get back to driving the ball and taking some time off the clock and, try to put this game away. And I thought that's what we came out, and we changed the field position again. And see Jalen really holding on to that football. That's the name of the game anytime, but especially now. They're kind of giving us the toss a little bit. They're packing it inside more, and so, now we're going to hit it on the edges. And see Noah just sort of seeing that opening. He's still moving right there. And
he's so great at stealing yards.
Yeah, he can see it. He can really cut and just find that opening. And again, you see we're getting close to scoring a touchdown, and, we're driving, and, we're being really conservative, and we're really running that clock now. I know that's frustrating for them. They feel like they got some momentum, but, they're having to sit on the sideline. They made a great play on the trap right here and put us in a little bit of a more long yardage situations right here. Yeah, there's a couple of questionable late hits didn't get the call there, but overall I thought the referees did a fine job. It's fourth down. You might think about kicking that field goal more in there, but, I felt like the bigger risk was maybe having it blocked and returned, and I still have faith in my defense, and I'd rather keep that field position. I'd rather keep them backed up right here in this situation. Some of those are a little bit judgment calls, and they had blocked that extra point earlier, and that was a little bit on my mind. And, our defense came out on fire, and you see getting after it, causing – they're a little bit confused. Another thing, when you backed up like that, it's really hard to coach your guys. They're really far away from you on the sideline, and so, the players had to make all these adjustments. There's a fourth down deal, and they're, gave us the ball. They keep getting backed up. That was actually a lateral. They're trying to throw it. Got to take a little bit better angle aiming at the quarterback. Probably should have had a great position. And again, Jonathan Pittman's in a great spot there. Here's a deal where, clock management-wise, I did a poor job. Instead of scoring right here, I should have got Max just to, take a knee for 2 plays, milk the clock for, at least get a minute off of it, and then try to score on the last 2. And that would have brought the clock down to maybe about 30 seconds or less, but it's one of those things. You look back. It's what Pat Dye say, hindsight's 50-50. That's one of those things. I immediately thought about that, after the game. It was like, if I had to do that situation over and in the future, that's what I would do. It's just rare to get the ball that far down, and it's right. And that's experience on my part or lack of it.
But you have a couple of scores, 30.
We're up by a couple of scores, and so, but we may have to field another onside kick to put the game away if they can draw, and then they get. They make the big pass play and end up making it close at the end. I don't think we're ever really in danger of being beat in this game at this point is just like, but they did make a play behind us that, where we had to defend another onside kick to put the game away.
You just want to take the opportunity away.
That's right. And so if, we take a knee down there and then score, then they don't have the time to be doing this right here. They're just basically throwing it vertical and taking chances. We're still running the ball. You see these guys, Evan Dye right there taking a good angle. Got to take a little bit better angle right here on the pursuit. Quarterback just throws it up. Alex Shepard doing a good job rushing the quarterback. Again, we're in some safe coverage stuff. We're based out of a 2-safety system. You always got to know where, Fletcher number 2 is, and he's just a sophomore, so if I'm still coaching here, we'll be dealing with that guy for another 2 years. He's a dang one. He's a really, really good player. Do a good job on pitch and catch here, and again, as long as we're keeping it in front of us, we feel good about them having to drive the field. And again, here we don't get anything on the receiver. He gets too much of a free release, and we're not in bad position, but we got to just that little bit of contact with that receiver when we're running a cover 2 is going to make the difference between that guy, that safety, being able to get in front of that ball or not. So, there's a lot of teachable things right here. And again, that ball game's over right there. I'm not sure if the kicker made a mistake and kicked it deep instead of trying the onside, but nobody goes into a game thinking they're going to kick an onside kick 3 or 4 times. And, if you got the middle onside and you sort of show it early and then people are really looking for it, that's a great play if nobody's expecting it. So, hats off to Hartselle for, fighting to the end. I know they got a lot of young kids. And, Coach Morris, like I said, he's as good a coach as there is out there. And that bunch is going to win a lot of games. And, fortunately, we came out and we were really ready to play. And, we had a good week in practice, even though we had a lot of distractions with the COVID contact tracing. But, everybody's dealing with it, and everybody's having players, knocked out during the week because, they've sat within 6 feet of another student. But, we're going to a new schedule. We started Tuesday, and I had to give a lot of credit to Dr. Patterson and school board and things for that, as far as making that possible. Because now the students at our school are guaranteed 6 foot of separation, and that's kind of the main parameter. And, so the percentages of us losing more and more players during the week have been greatly reduced because of the foresight of our school administration. And I really thank them for that, because it gives these kids a chance to, compete and play in an environment where there's a lot of uncertainty. And, we're doing everything we can to protect these kids and create a safe environment for them and also for their families. And, so far so good on that. We've gotten 3 games in, and I think our kids have really embraced the fact that, this may be their last game. We don't really know what the future holds, but we're just going to take every day and try to enjoy it as best we can and enjoy being with each other and respect the chance that we're given that, so many high school football players around the country are not given a chance to play, in colleges too. And so we feel very, very fortunate that we're able to here.
If it was their last one, it's a solid victory, moves to 3-0. First win up at Hartselle since 1997. I know we talked about it was the first win against a 7A team against Grissom earlier in the year. Also the first time Coleman has cracked the top 10 in 6A this week with a number 10 ranking. And I know those are not the things you focus on. You're focused on the game on the field, but the fans love to talk it. The stadium folks love to talk it. The media loves to talk it. So they're out there. Those historical things are happening, but all you're focused on is Buckhorn coming up on Friday night.
That's right. And, and also, Coleman as a football program has 597 wins. And we get a few more wins this year. We're going to crack that 600 barrier, which I think there's only been about 20 teams in the state has ever done. I think that's very significant, because Coleman's a place that has a lot of tradition, and especially from the Coach Woodard and the Coach Britton era. won a lot of games, and you know, we're trying to live up to those standards, but we're also trying to, you know, create a new standard and a new way of doing things. And I do think it's kind of a neat deal that we're running basically the same offense that Coach Woodard did and during those glory years. But you're right. I mean, you think about that stuff after the season.
Right.
And, you know, because, listen, in 6A, and with our schedule and these people and coming in, and I think our kids know it. I mean, you don't sit there and think, okay, we did this or that, and we beat this, you know. It's what I told them after the game. It's like, it's always about us. Y'all hear me say that all the time. The focus is on us. Now, you start winning some games, you're doing the right things, now other people are focused on us, you know. But we have to remain focused on us, and that's fine. Let them spend their time and energy worried about what we're doing. We're going to worry about us getting better and doing our best to win the next football game and enjoy it. And it's, you know, we're trying to play to a standard, and we're trying to push that standard of how we play. And, you know, I want people, you know, to say, what do you think about Coleman? Or, you know, what's Coleman football like? You know, that everybody says the same thing. You know, that say that the kids play extremely hard. You know, they don't make mistakes. You're going to have to beat them. They're extremely physical. You know, I want those things to be known about us. And I think, you know, so far, you know, I think we're on track for that. But that ball bounces a funny way, and if you don't prepare, and like I said, you got to tell the kids, and we work on it. We talk about it daily, and you know, we had pretty intense practice today, and you know, you have to be able to handle success as much as you handle failure. And you know, the minute you sit back, somebody else going to outwork you and pass you. Absolutely. And you know, that's the way it is in your working life. And you know, if you sit back and just you're going to kind of coast now, you feel like you've done enough, well, somebody else is going to get that next promotion. And I try to relate that to these kids, make them understand, look, this is a way of life, you know, what we're teaching here in this game. It's not just a game, but it's actually a mindset, you know, of excellence. And, you know, we have a slogan on one of our doors, you know, if you're not given 100% to a specific area of your life, you need to ask why not. You know, why are you not doing that? And you need to examine, maybe you don't need to be involved in it if you can't. And, you know, whether that's your family relationship or your job or your spiritual life or on the football field or in the classroom or on Google Meets, you know, whatever it is you're in, if you're not giving 100%, why are you not? Because, you know, excellence is a way of life, you know, and you can't think, well, I'm gonna give 100% in this area, but, you know, here I'm just, you know, don't just get by. If you have that mentality, you're not really going to be a champion. So, you know, that's what we're trying to teach these kids around here.
I think that's really showing on the field and showing in the classroom with these guys as they move on throughout this virtual learning and all the stuff going on during COVID. So it's just great to see this team succeeding so far through 3 weeks. And I hope for the next 3 weeks and the 3 weeks after that and the 3 weeks after that, we're talking about the same kind of success.
Yeah, I do too, Wade. I really do. You know, we're working every day toward that end, and you got to keep grinding, man, just like you do in life. You know, you got to get up, and you got to go to work, and you got to give your best, and then you got to have time to give your best to your family, and you got to, you know, have time to give your best to your spiritual life, and whatever it is you choose to do, you know, attack the day, and you know, that's what we're trying to teach these kids, and you know, I hope this team's giving people hope during this strange time. You know, maybe, you know, when we look back on these days, and you know, we had the shutdown, the pandemic, and people are scared and different things like that. I hope the one thing they can look back and say, man, you know, I really enjoyed watching that team play, and it took me away from, you know, whatever it was that was troubling me, you know, not working right now, and having to live on an unemployment check or things like that. And you know, hopefully we can help people escape from that and be proud of this bunch.
That's what sports is. It's a joy in life. So we're going to wrap up the Bearcat Review here. We appreciate you joining us this week. Don't forget, 7 o'clock Friday night, Coleman takes on Buckhorn. It's going to be at Oliver Woodard Stadium. Bring those masks and don't forget to social distance. We'll see you next week. Have a great evening, and thanks for joining the Bearcat Review.
Whoa.